What's up, Gromies? This is your boy Chris here in the Simple Man's Grow Lab, and today I'm going to be giving you 10 of my suggestions on growing indoors, things you might need, things you might need to do. If you can, hit that like, subscribe button. I've seen a lot of y'all have been tuning in. I appreciate that. If you could, like and subscribe, share, spread the word, and let's get into the video. Alright, so my 10 suggestions for a successful indoor grow. My number one suggestion, the thing that you should get first, I would say, is a grow tent. Now, right now I'm not even growing in a tent. As you can see behind me, this is my makeshift grow area in my closet. I actually only did that for space because I didn't want to pay the money that I would have to pay for a larger tent. I wanted to see how things would go in the closet, just to see if I could get the plants bigger, and I was able to get the plants bigger in that bigger space. So I feel that if I get a bigger tent, I can replicate it. And I'm going to get a tent about the size of my closet, just so I can kind of push it back in there, and that's where the grow lab is going to permanently be. Trying to make some room for my girlfriend. I know she's tired of it, but so yeah, that's the number one thing. You don't have to get a grow tent, as I've proven. You don't have to have that. You don't have to have the light bouncing in certain ways to get good, thick, dense buds, because I've achieved that. So even though I didn't get the yield I wanted, I still achieved really good yields and really good buds for the size pots that I grew my plants in. So I don't think that having that reflective surface is a necessity, even though I do have something that reflects. I don't, plaster it all over the walls. I don't think that's what you need to do. So number two, that actually leads me into number two, which is proper air ventilation. Now, you want to control your environment as far as the airflow. You want to make sure you're getting fresh air into your grow space, as well as making sure that you're not collecting dust. I live in California, and for some reason I can tell the difference between out here and where I grew up in North Carolina. The air is dusty, dirty. Dusty? Stuff over. It's dusty, dirty, dingy. I hate it. I hate the air quality in California. That is the worst. I think that's my number one pet peeve about this area. And so I've been incorporating more fans. Me and my girlfriend are talking about getting a whole new fan system. We won't actually. I'm trying to avoid getting the coils and stuff, but I mean, if you want to do that, you can do that, of course. I'm trying to see if I can just keep this open space the way I have it now, and see if it'll still grow the way I want it to. If not, then I'll adapt, of course. That is what we're doing in the lab. We're experimenting. But I would say proper air ventilation. Make sure you have not just one or two fans. You're gonna have to have at least 4 fans. And I don't have that many plants. So for all you big growers out there who have a lot of plants, you're gonna need at least 5, 6, 7, 10 fans going at once. It's gonna raise your light bill. So I would suggest keeping it a little small as far as the grow, unless you can afford it. And at least four fans starting off with. Get you some type of AC unit, even if it's just one of the oscillating fans that has the ion setting that cools the air and takes in all the dirt and stuff like that. Make sure that you get good, proper air ventilation, proper airflow. That really helps keep pests down. It helps plant health. It helps plant growth. So yeah, make sure you get those fans and keep that air ventilation going. All right, now the number 3 suggestion I would have to say is good plant genetics.
Like a lot of cultivated fruit, culinary bananas are so inbred and malformed that they can't produce offspring even if they wanted to.
Now, I swear by ILGM, the first plant genetic company that I actually went to, the first seed bank that I went to, and because I heard good things about them, I saw good reviews, and I looked at his plants, and I was like, okay, this would be good for me to start out with. You know, I don't want to start out with something really complex and heavy duty or anything. I just wanted to start out with something with a baseline THC, which I don't think he goes over 25% THC in some of his plants, which, I mean, that's your average top shelf. So,
so you know I ain't worried, biatch.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple, you know what I mean? But yeah, I swear by ILGM, there's at least 80% germination rate on those seeds. So yeah, and then the genetics are really good. Make sure you know what you're growing. Even if you're not growing cannabis, okay, let's go away from cannabis. Let's talk about just growing vegetables or fruits. Make sure your genetics are good. I mean, there are a lot of different brands out there, Burpee and stuff like that. I would say if you're doing any cuttings from anyone, make sure that their plants are good. If you're getting seeds from people, check out their plants. See what their plants developed into. You see the potential that they have, and you might be able to even push those genes further than the people you got the seeds from. So just, you know, do a little homework, check on the plant genetics, see if the plant has potential to go far or not, and that will give you a good indication on what you're going to be able to do with those plants that you're growing. So let's move on. Number 4, a thermometer and a hygrometer. Now, this was something that I think it was my first grow, I paid no attention to. The temperature, I did not pay attention at all to the humidity. And some of my plants suffered for it. Some of my buds suffered for it in the tent when I first got my tents. And so make sure you are regulating temperature. If you have plant genetics, again, because different strains can grow in different temperate climates. Some can grow in arid climates, some can grow in Mediterranean climates, tropical climates. It depends on the genetics, and they can thrive. So some temperatures can be lower, some temperatures can be higher. Again, it goes back to the number 3, which is, you know, make sure you know what kind of genetics you have. That will help you in determining what temperature, what relative humidity levels you need for the plant to be the most successful. All plants aren't the same. I don't know why growers go on here and tell you, oh, you should use this brand and you should use this grow medium and you should use that. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but what is the plant genetics designed for? When you want to recreate that environment, and then while you're recreating the environment the genetics are designed for, you're actually boosting the environment with little added things that maybe they could use in those environments. You know, you're not trying to just take a baseline grow tactic and use that for everything. It's not how it works. These things are like people, plants, and not like people. I would say they're just as diverse as people, animals. You know, the plant kingdom is very diverse, and so you can't just grow one way for all plants. You know what I mean? So I would say, again, research those genetics and find out what type of, if you're growing cannabis, find out what type of strain and what region the mother strains come from. That will tell you how the genetics can be manipulated, and what temperatures and what level of humidity you need. So I would say get a thermometer, hygrometer. Make sure you get those 2 items. They will save you a lot of headache. Number 5, get a soil tester. Now, there's soil meter testers that test the level of acidity in your soil, whether it's too high or too low. It will test your soil's pH, and I think I'm actually investing in that because I'm actually ordering it today because I need the help. I need to really be more mindful of. I have to dot all my I's and cross all my T's because
the ground went sour.
You know, that matters. Even if I pH the water, if the pH in the soil itself is off, doesn't matter what the water's pH is, it will not change the pH of the soil. Some soils come hot with really acidic soil bases, so what I would suggest is just taking your bag of soil. Like, I get a lot of flack for saying that you can use Fox Farm products. Everyone has their own opinion about Fox Farm, and a lot of their opinions aren't good. What I say is, it's not the brand itself, it's the need for us to overuse things. We think that if we use a lot of it, that it's going to soup up the plant somehow and not harm them. Wrong. And for Fox Farm, I love Ocean Forest as a soil-based medium because it comes with everything you need. And yes, it comes hot. It does come hot where it will burn your plants. I've done it to my seedlings before. What you have to do is take the bag and leave it for a few weeks. Just don't use it as soon as you buy it. You open it up, you let that thing air out. You let it dry because, yeah, they have holes poked in the bags and stuff, but the type of bag that the soil is in is designed to keep moisture. And that's what's happening. It's keeping the moisture, which is keeping the acidity levels of everything. Just drop that moisture down, let that thing air out, you know what I'm saying? Let some of those nutrients and all that, let it kind of balance itself. Let it kind of, it's a chemistry phrase, not even a chemistry phrase. Number 6, get a pH and an EC meter.
pH balance secret, strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
pH, of course, I just talked about the pH of the soil, but you do need to pH your water. Even though the water's pH won't change too much of the soil pH, it won't affect it too much, it can. And it can affect the nutrients that are uptaken by the plant. That's why I try to keep my pH between 6.0 and 6.3. Okay. And that's the sweet spot. Well, 6.0, 6.5. That's the sweet spot, in my opinion. That's where the most macro and micronutrients can be uptaken at once. And EC meter is electrical conductivity meter. You use it when you're using nutrient feed to actually get the electrical conductivity of the nutrients that are the solubles and non-solubles that are in your feed. So most of these nutrients, if you're using liquid nutrients, it's salt-based. And so these salt-based nutrients give off electrical current and salt. And EC meter just tells you what range you should keep that in. You have grow guides. I know Fox Farm gives you a grow guide. I think Big Buzz gives you a grow guide too, I think. And a couple of others where they tell you what your electrical conductivity should be, what the parts per million should be, and the EC meter tells you parts per million as well. EC is more for like if you're in like Canada and European, I guess, territories. They follow EC just like they follow Celsius, whereas we just look at the parts per million. But it doesn't matter either way. Parts per million, EC does the same thing. It's designed for the same relative look at what's going on in your water. So yeah, get those. Number 7, nutrients. Now, whether it's dry or liquid amendments, find your nutrients. I would suggest not using Miracle Grow, but some people do, and they say they have success. I would never use it, but but yeah, just find a nutrient family, quote unquote, that you're comfortable with, that you have found success with. Go for it. I'm not going to tell you what nutrients you should use. You're grown. You're an adult. You're smart enough to know what gives you good growth and what you're capable of using, what you feel like using. Some people just don't feel like using dry amendments. Some people don't feel like using, liquid amendments. Some people don't like the salt base, but everything is salt based, because I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, it's all relative. Do what the hell you want to. That's my suggestion on that. Number 8, prepare for pests.
Look at that. I'm provoking that, huh?
I don't care how clean your house is. I don't care how roped off you have your grow from, the outside world. You're going to get pests in some way, form, or fashion. You're going to collect something. Now, if you don't get pests, you have a very sterile environment, and it's not probably a very natural environment anyway. So, if you're able to keep 0 pests, more power to you. But for the average person, you're going to get pests. So prepare for it. Get you some neem oil. Get you from carnivorous plants.
Okay.
Shout out to California carnivores. That's the 3rd time I've done this. Shout out to California carnivores. I'm going to be actually investing in some of their. I'm going to be investing in some of their Venus flytraps and other carnivorous plants, because I'm tired of these freaking fungus gnats flying all over the place. No matter what I do, they've gotten into this habit of the life cycle, and it's very difficult to. I can reduce their numbers, but I need to reduce more of the adult numbers, and I can attack because the things that I'm using are actually, they're stopping egg production or slowing egg production, but they're not stopping them from hatching, which is annoying. So yeah, I'm going to get some plants to eat them instead of just having fly traps up to catch them. It's unappealing to look at. So yeah, but prep for pests. You're going to get some. Just prepare for the worst. Even if you don't ever get spider mites or aphids or anything, I haven't had any trouble with those. It's just the fungus gnats, because they're persistent, and they usually come in your cocoa or your soil anyway, like the eggs, because I guess they're in the worm castings a lot, or the back guano, or whatever the eggs are there. So you're gonna get fungus gnats. But and it can just infect the soil or whatever in transit. So you're gonna get fungus gnats. Just prepare for it. Yeah. Number 9, use some form of mycorrhiza. Use some form of mycorrhiza inoculate when you transplant, because it will help those roots blow up. It just will. It will just. I've shown you. I swear by this as well. You've seen, if you've watched the grow tips, you've seen the results from when I don't use the mycorrhiza and when I do use it. And for my first grow, my biggest plant was 28 inches. I think the biggest I got the gold leaf, and the gold leaf is actually part sativa, and it's supposed to get a little bigger than that. It didn't get, and there was actually a photo period too. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, essentially. But I just got my Amnesia Haze Autoflower to go to, what, 38 inches? And I actually could have got her bigger if I wanted. If I would just put her in a bigger pot, she would have gotten bigger. But I didn't want it to take over. I mean, she's already taken over a light by herself. So, you know what I mean? So use some form of mycorrhiza. I just got, you know what, I'm gonna just leave it there. I just got this great white. This is some premium mycorrhiza. It says it has beneficial bacteria and trichoderma. Now, I've actually read that trichoderma does not help in the fruiting, flowering plants. It doesn't help with fruits, flowers, or herbs. We're gonna test that out. I've heard different, that great white is really good. And just, you know, you can smell this shit. Like, I can smell it. So I know it's gonna do its job. So yeah, get you some type of mycorrhiza and inoculate, and add it to your soils and your grow mediums when you're transplanting, and watch those roots take off and watch your plant just explode. And last but not least, I guess that's kind of is like the mycorrhiza thing. Establish and maintain your microbiology. I know I use liquid nutrients and they can kind of kill, well, I've heard it can kill off some of your microbiology, but a lot of the liquid nutrients I have are designed to have microbiology in the nutrients themselves, and I can just put it right back in the soil. But maintaining the microbiology is very important to me. I try to make sure that I feed the microbes the sugars that they need. I try to make sure that I want the microbiology in my soil, or in my grow medium rather, to just make that plant explode, make those buds really dense. Or the peppers that I have, make those peppers just fucking juicy, big. And the microbiology helps with that. So yeah, I think that's it for today. That's my 10 suggestions for first time indoor grower. If you have any suggestions that you think I should have added, hey, drop a comment. Let me know what else I'm missing out on. I believe in each one teach one. I'm not someone who thinks he knows everything. I know I don't know everything. And I know that there are people out here who are watching me, who have subscribed, who probably have more knowledge in the realm of growing cannabis or growing, you know, I know there are a lot of cannabis growers who are pepper enthusiasts, especially out here in California. And those guys talk about certain things with peppers and stuff. And I'm like, wow, okay. Sure, I didn't know it was that interesting. You know, anyone who's doing an indoor grow, even outdoor growers, they have very deep knowledge. Give your suggestions. Real quick, I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, hit the like, subscribe. Check out a couple of my other videos. Share with your friends, family. Follow us on Shroom Sage 1989.